Hey everybody. So my name is Heidi Cole and I'm a business leader for Shazam Enterprises. I'm here tonight to talk to you about setting your goals and putting them into action. So I'm sure we've all heard about SMART goals, right? They are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're timely. Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit along that same path, but give you a variety of different avenues to look at. And it's not going to just be talking about, the numbers and things like that, because there's so much more to goal setting and making them happen than that. And so let's go through these. And so actually we're going to give you 10. We're going to give you 10 things to really focus on when you're setting your goals and how they're going to help make you successful, okay, based on what you're looking for. So the first thing is you want to define what your goal is, right? And define what I say your ultimate goal is, your ultimate goal in the next 6 months to a year. What is that ultimate goal for you? Okay, what does it look like? How is it going to feel when you achieve that goal? Why is that goal important to you? And the more specific that you can be, the more achievable that goal will become and the more likely that it's going to happen. Why? So first, they call that a compelling vision. Okay, when something is so specific that you actually see it happening. So an example would be, my goal is I want to go on a month-long cruise, and it's going to be Caribbean. We are going to stop at multiple ports, and at each port we're going to do an excursion, and we're going to have a suite, and and we're going to take our family with us, and it's going to be this time of year that we're going to go, and it's going to be in 2020. And right, so the more my brain can actually see the Caribbean islands and the white sandy beaches and the different excursions that we want to take, and the family going with us, and we have a suite, and all of us, are together, and this cruise has got, it's multi-deck. So there's a shopping mall in it, and there's all the different restaurants, as well as the activities from ice skating and roller skating and surfing on the cruise ship. That when you have it so vivid in your mind, they call that your compelling vision, meaning that your brain already believes that the goal has happened. So it's seen this ultimate goal, right, in the next 6 months to a year. And it's because you have taken the time to master, like write it out, master it, right, make this master plan, that your brain then says, ooh, this goal has already happened. So now it starts working backwards and paving the way in order for it to happen. It's amazing how our brain works. So when you hear people say to write down your goals, be as specific as possible, see them happening, how is it going to feel? It's not just to say it. It's because our bodies do the things needed to do in order to get them done when it is so clear in our minds. So when you're asked, how much do you want to make? Why is this goal important to you? And people respond with, oh, whatever. Guess what? That's what they get, is whatever. So when you say, oh, how much income? Whatever. So is $1 extra exciting to you? Probably not. So be extremely, extremely detailed with your goals, right? Like in the dreams, okay? Because it's got to be the dream that you're going after, and then we break them into goals. Okay, so go after the dream. We'll break them down into the goals. So compelling vision is your dream. What do you want to have happen in 6 months to a year? So crystal clear, so vivid that your brain already believes that it's happened. So now it starts going backwards and setting it up so that the pavers take place so that the goals, right, lead into that dream. So that's the first thing. I want you to think about too, how is it going to feel? How is it going to feel when you've achieved this dream? Is it going to be exciting? Is it going to be a stress reliever? Is it going to be that bucket list that you didn't know if it would really happen, but man, it did. And this is the outcome. How's it going to feel? I want you to also think about, how is it going to feel if you don't achieve it? How is it going to feel? How's it going to affect your family? How is it going to affect those closest to you if you don't achieve it? What does that feel like? Write it down. I'm going to give you a minute, right? Obviously, you're not going to be able to get it all done during this training time. So take the time. Shut the phones off, shut the computer off, shut the TV off, have a notebook, and write down your compelling vision, your dream. So vivid. Write down how it's going to feel when you achieve it. And so you're going to write down, this is how I'm going to feel when I achieve it. And then I want you to write down how you're going to feel if you don't achieve it. Do you get that pit in your stomach? Does your hands start getting sweaty? Do you feel that disappointment? Does it bring tears to your eyes? How does it make you feel? Both ways. And I want you to remember both of those feelings, how it feels when you achieve it and how it would feel not achieving it. What emotion is going to move you? Are you going to be so on fire because you want that feeling of achievement and you want to be able to celebrate with those closest to you, your loved ones, however that is? Or is the feeling of not achieving it, is that going to be the fuel to fire you up and move you? Or is it going to paralyze you of going, oh my gosh, what if that does happen? Right? What emotion is going to move you? Hopefully, it's the celebration one, right? So that's first thing. Then you need to break that dream down into goals, into bite-sized pieces. So if I'll just again talk about the one I shared with you as the example. So if I want to go on a cruise in let's say October of 2020, guess what? I have to start mapping out how much is it going to cost, right? What is that ultimate thing? What's it going to cost me? Okay. So that's first thing. So you're going to write that down. It's going to cost this. And again, don't be stingy on it, right? Do your dream, write it down. Then I need to figure out, okay, well, it's going to cost me $20,000. So $20,000, how many months is that I need that money saved by? Because that's spending money, that's the cruise, that's right, all of it. So how much money do I need? And what time frame do I have? And then you break that down of going, okay, so I've got 11 months. I want it saved in 11 months. So then I take the 11 or the 20,000, I break that down by 11 months. So that means I need to save or make X amount in the next 11 months on top of my income or whatever. Or maybe this business is just your extra, right? So I need X amount for the next 11 months to make. All right. So then I have to break that down. Well, what does that look like in my business? How many personal parties is that? What does my team have to sell if you're a leader in the business? And then you break that down. Okay, so X amount is going to come from me, and then my team, I need to build my team up and work with my team so it starts producing this. Now it's taking of going, okay, so what are the activities that I need to do in order to, number one, get my date book up where it is, right? Or get it up where it needs to be. This is where it's at. What do I need to do? How many phone calls do I need to make? Who am I contacting? Right? What does that list look like? So do you have a notebook that you have everything in, from your contacts to your daily to-dos, right? That need to get accomplished in order for those goals and dreams to take place. Who are you contacting on your team? Do you have a team yet, right? We want to help you work smart, not hard. So it's breaking down those goals into bite-sized pieces. I highly recommend the next step. So that was step 2, right? And I'll go back through these. So step 2 is break down those goals into bite-sized pieces. What do you need? And next is have an accountability partner. Step 3 is having an accountability partner who's going to hold you accountable. So I don't recommend it being a close family member or even your significant other, your spouse, because guess what? When those moments and times that business is great, they're all on fire. They're excited for you. They're excited because the money's coming in. But if business isn't going well, because guess what? It's business. It doesn't go well all the time. And we're complaining to them, right? And if you're complaining more than you are excited, then guess what? They go into a fix-it mode and they just want to fix it for you. And so they're going to say, if this is making you so unhappy and we can't fix this, then just be done with it. And then you're going, well, that's not what I want. But all they're hearing you do is complain. So you need an accountability partner that is going, I recommend your uplines, your directors, your business leaders. Maybe you hire an outside source coach if that's needed, but definitely go to your business leader and your director. Keep them in the loops. They're there as a package. Partner with them and they will help you get there, because your director is going to give you different words and wisdom and information. Your business leader is also going to give you different words and wisdom. So together it's a package deal where they're going to help you get what you want as quick as possible based on your time frame. So accountability partners, number 3, in order to achieve those dreams and goals and breaking it into action. The next thing is celebrate the small wins. Those small wins are going to lead you to victory. Those small wins are going to lead you to that big dream and goal happening. Okay, so celebrate the win. So how are you going to celebrate? Example was every month, you know, I'm putting myself in consultant and a new manager's shoes. Okay. So that's where I'm talking at this moment in time is, so what we used to always do, especially when our kids were little, is we would have a magazine or something that the kids got to shop from, especially around the, you know, the Christmas season and stuff, and, or big October months or birthday month. Right. So big months, especially with the catalogs and stuff, the magazines would come out. Now they shop online, all that kind of stuff. But the kids would write out what they wanted. So, or we would say, we're going to go to a hotel and we're going to stay there for an entire weekend and da, 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 da. So we would put that up on a board on our fridge, that this is what was going to happen. This is what either kids got to shop for, or this is what the family was doing when the goal was hit. So when mom was gone at night or during the weekends or whatever your time frame is, right? This is what we're working towards. Okay. And so it would, instead of the kids crying when they were little of going, mom's leaving, and they love dad time, right? But it made them go, when are you leaving, or why are you home? Are you supposed to be out partying? Because this is what we're going for when the goal happens, right? So that's how our kids became ultimate goal, you know, drivers and setting goals before them. And now they carried over into their adulthood, which is super fun to watch. But So it's celebrating those mini wins. Maybe the mini win, like let's break it down into monthly. Did the kids get to do that every month? No, it was big months, right? But smaller, the normal months, maybe it was, we've got to go to a special place for lunch. Or maybe it was just mom got to go by herself to get a pedicure and a manicure, and that was my treat. Maybe it was going shopping, getting a pair of shoes. Maybe it's getting a purse. It could have been I just get a day to myself. So setting those mini goals, those mini celebrations, maybe it's just going to have lunch with a girlfriend at a special place. So super important to celebrate them. Okay. All small wins, because they're going to lead you to big. Next thing is, you want to constantly track your performance. Constant. So tracking your performance, not only your numbers, right? Are you watching your numbers? Are you watching what your personal sales are at each party? Do you set a goal before you go to those parties? What do you want for sales? How many datings are you going to get? How many people are you going to talk to about joining, starting their own gig? How is the team doing weekly? Do you have team weekly goals? Are you on pace for those? The ultimate end month goal is this. So how much more do you have to achieve it? So are you constantly tracking that? But are you also constantly tracking your daily to-dos? Because guess what? The daily to-dos will lead you to the wins. So the daily to-do trackers, are you making contact with your team? Are you making personal phone calls to fill your date book? Are you talking to recruit leads to join you in the business? Are you posting on social media for engagement, not just sales? Are you attracting new customers, right? Not just being salesy, because that will push them away. So are you doing the do in order to get the job done so you can celebrate the big win? Are you checking in daily? Is it that important to you that you want, without a shadow of a doubt, that this goal, this dream is going to happen, and these goals are going to get me up and get me going? So when you get up in the morning, you know exactly what you're doing. So each night, take time, again, a notebook where everything is in one location. The night before, do you make a list of what needs to get done for your business the night before? So when you get up, you know exactly what needs to be done. You're not going, oh, well, what should I do today? Okay. So setting that path ahead of time so that your mind can truly sleep at night, so that you can wake up in the morning and you are refreshed and ready to go, and your feet hit that floor and you are ready to go. Another thing of tracking your performance is how you start your day. How do you start your day? Okay, that's also under track. So how do you start it? Did you get up and you get your coffee, you maybe go work out, maybe you take a walk, you get showered, and you're ready to go? And did you know you're more productive, way more productive, at least 50% more productive if you put shoes on versus just wearing socks around the house or barefoot? 50% more productive of putting shoes on and getting ready for the day. Or do you get up and you stay in your pajamas until noon or 1-ish, and then you're like, oh, I'm not sure what I should be doing, right? Oh, I should work on this. Are you ho-humdrum? Or do you lead the day knowing exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it? Okay, so track your performance. Next is, I want you to steer clear of the negative voices that either are in our head or the people you hang around with. Because those negative naysayers are out there all around us. And who we surround ourselves with is who we become. What we put into us is what comes out. So are you listening to, positive people? Are they the people you're listening to? Do they have an influence in a positive manner in your life? Is it somebody that you would want to become? Is it somebody that you want to hang out with because it feels good to hang out with them? Or do you leave a conversation and you're going, oh, I'm exhausted after being around that individual? Now, I know it's hard when it's family, right? And so you've got to be very cautious there, but how much time do you spend around that? The voices in your head, do you speak kind to yourself, and are you positive and uplifting? Or are you your worst critic and you're not positive and not upbeat and you're not motivational and you tear yourself down? Again, that's where your accountability partner will help you. Okay. And so be very cautious about what you feed into yourself as far as what you listen to, what you watch, because all of that stuff is going to come out. So do you start your day with something positive? Do you end your day with something positive? Do you fill yourself with great books of motivation, of inspiration, of how to improve yourself on a regular basis? Okay, so avoid the naysayers. And there's a lot of them out there. A lot of people will say, oh, that kind of stuff doesn't work. Oh, you know, that's just a fad. That'll go away. Well, guess what? So do jobs. What's your dream? How quick do you want it? Do you want to work for yourself? Do you want to work smarter? You get to decide all of it. Just make sure what you decide is what's in here. Okay? Because after you speak nice to yourself and you surround yourself with positive people, guess what? This and this will start to match instead of these two going at a war. Trust me. Okay. What will be the things that get into your way? So you've envisioned at the beginning all the things of why you want your dreams to happen, right? And so, and how you feel, how you're going to feel when that happens, and also how you're going to feel if it doesn't happen. But I want you to think about those things when you get up on a daily basis, right? What are those things that are going to stop you in your tracks? What are those obstacles? Is it the kids getting sick? Is it the significant other calling you and saying they forgot something? Can you run it out to them? Is it just your lack of motivation, not having a list done? Oops, sorry, not having a list done. You know, what are those obstacles that are going to get in your way, that are going to stop you in your tracks, that are going to derail you? When you start to forecast those things and you start to see them ahead of time when they do happen, guess what? They don't have the same effect on you as if you don't forecast them. So I might go, okay, you know what? The kids might call and say, can you watch our grandbaby? How am I gonna work with that? Because that is like my heart's thing right now. My daughter might call, she's in college. She might call and say, hey, can you run down here and can we go do lunch? How am I going to handle that? It might be my husband calls and says, hey, I'm going to be home late, but can you go check on our dogs? Can you go do this? How am I going to handle that? Is it going to derail my business, or am I just going to kind of weave it? How am I going to weave it? Where will I put that? So forecast that stuff, you guys, because nothing, unless it's a tragedy, and hopefully none of us have tragedies in our life, okay, or an illness, okay, but everything else you should be able to work around to some degree, okay? So forecast them. That's all I'm saying. Forecast them so that when they do happen, they're not as big of an obstacle, okay? You can easily get over it. Accountability partner. You're going to hear me say that. You were like, Heidi, you already said that. Yep, I did. But it's super important. Do you have that accountability partner? Are you tracking your performance? Yep, I already said that too. It's, again, part of the top 10. Track your performance. Are you tracking it? Is your team count increasing? Are your sales increasing? Are you getting the guests at your events? Do you have at least, you know, your 2 parties a week, right? What is it? And are you tracking it? Are you celebrating? 2 more things. Create mile markers. So what does that mean? So depending on how if your goal, if your dream, I can't speak today, if your dream is 6 months out or a year out, have those mile markers on, I should be to this point, right? You've got your weekly goals, you got your monthly goals. I should be to this point though by this time frame. I should have sold this much, or I should have earned this much by this time frame when these things are done and take place. So make sure you've got mile markers before you constantly, okay? And then the final thing for you is work your business daily with intention. Work it daily. I want you to think, for those of you who have jobs, if you didn't go to your job on a daily basis, would you still have a job? If you went to your job and didn't do the daily tasks that were needed to get the job done, would you have a job? Do other people depend on you for you to do your job so that they can do their job? Well, your business is your business, even though you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. If your dreams are so important to you and your family and your loved ones, and for whatever your reasons are, if they're that important to you, are you checking in daily like those dreams are that important to you? Or are you checking in whenever, however, and whatever? Again, it's your business. You get to decide. But if you want those dreams to come true, and half the time, the average person who works a job, and again, I'm not saying jobs are bad, please don't take it that way, but we are painting the picture of reality. If you have a job, typical dreams coming true of a job, okay, your standard job is about 30 to 40 years. Owning your own business, okay, working smarter, average time frame of dreams coming true is about 10 years, 10 to 12. You get to choose. Remember, you're not in business by yourself, but you are in business for yourself. So are those dreams pulling you to become better, bolder, brighter, and take action on a daily basis? I hope so, because you're worth it. And so is your family, or those impacted by you, your hostesses, your customers, your team members that are already with you, and those that will be joining you. Okay? So dreams, let's help them happen. Let's make them happen by taking action and mapping it out. And you will achieve success.